which brings me to Scott O'Neill. He's our speaker today. He's a professional property investor. He's an author, and he's founder and director of Rethink Investing. Scott is the author of the best-selling estate book, Rethink Property Investing, and has created a podcast to educate more people about the benefits of commercial property. With a personal portfolio over $60 million at 35 years old, Scott continues to expand the Rethink business vertically with integrated new business ventures, including Rethink Property Lawyers, Rethink Commercial Education, and Rethink Property Insurance. He began his career as a civil engineer for Leighton Contractors, moving into the material and logistics industry. Throughout his time working with CPB Contractors, Holcim and Adelaide Brighton, Scott invested on the side until he could replace his salary with passive income from properties. Scott is an alumnus of this university, holds a Bachelor of Engineering major in Civil Engineering and Construction Management. He's also currently pursuing a Master of Business Administration degree at Uni of New South Wales. He won a Strategic Investor of the Year award in 2019 from Your Investment Property magazine, as well as having won many other industry awards between Rethink Investing and the mortgage brokerage Rethink Financing. Scott O'Neill, your life pathway has taken you quite a long way, I think, from your civil engineering degree. He's wearing his hood and gown for that degree here. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you back to the university, and I invite you to deliver the occasional address.
Thank you so much, everyone. To the presiding officer, faculty dean, distinguished guests, parents and friends of the students, and most importantly, congratulations to the class of 2022. Just over a decade ago, I was sitting exactly where you were, wondering how in this world did I get through this degree. So many subjects over the years, I could hardly remember some of the names of those courses in those early years. I'm sure some of you might have that feeling now. Maybe it was spending a little bit too much time at the Royal, the Rose or Herman's Bar in between lectures. Either way, my colleagues and I got through the degree, and that excitement is something that I'll remember for the rest of my life, and so will you. This is a big achievement. Today I've been asked to give you all a little inspiration as you move forward in your professional lives. I'll be honest, if there was ever a group of students who don't need a pep talk, it's you guys. You in many ways have made it more than you could know, so for me this is a huge honour to represent you as one of the past graduates of the Faculty of Engineering. Most people speaking in my position would only reference how to be successful in business and life, but I'll also be referencing investing. As in this day and age, if you're not investing on the side, you will find it more difficult to get ahead financially. So you have three things to focus on as you move forward: your career, your personal life, and investing. The key skills this degree will give you when it comes to the business and investment world. Firstly, the ability to become a problem solver. The University of Sydney engineering degree provides the foundations on how to solve problems. It teaches you the technique of logical thinking. It allows you to take the information provided to you and then you use that information to find a solution. If a solution is not possible, you have learnt you need to seek further information. As a professional investor, this is the most important aspect I took from this degree. For example, my wife and I wanted to seek a solution for our own lives, where we could travel for long periods of time or even live overseas. As we have family over there, this was important to us. We did find this solution, and the result is we spent at least 3 months overseas every year, COVID permitted. Our vehicle was property investment. However, as a numbers-orientated engineer, I quickly worked out the traditional path everyone else follows wasn't the true solution for a fast retirement. In brief detail, We worked out that the cash flow versus capital growth scenario from investing in the stock market or the residential markets would take far too long to build a passive income large enough to retire from. So those doors closed as viable options. But after thousands of hours of research and crunching every single scenario in one of my beloved Excel spreadsheets, I turned to commercial property. The reason why this asset class was so attractive was it had more than triple the income versus residential dollar for dollar. So the spreadsheets were looking pretty fantastic. The trouble is no one else my age went down this commercial path, plus the barriers to entry were higher and there was limited education on the topic, so it all had to be self-taught. Again, this is what this degree does. It teaches you to learn. After 12 years of non-stop investing and obsessing over residential and commercial property, this led to my wife and I scaling to this $60 million portfolio. And it clears enough rental income for us to never work again. And that gives us the freedom to work where and when we wish, and it's a freedom that we'll never take for granted. So remember, find your solution in life, obsess over it, and don't be afraid to look for alternative options. Another key point that this university has given you is the university degree will earn you the respect of the professional world. The Uni of New Sydney Uni is recognised globally due to the quality of graduates it produces. On top of this, the Sydney Uni engineering degree is one of the hardest, if not the hardest degree this university produces. So to get through this course is no small feat. For this reason, your intelligence is now assumed. In fact, engineers sit in the top 3% of IQs. I can tell you after working for multiple multinational companies that this degree will be a fantastic cornerstone for whatever you choose to do in your professional career. Without this degree, I would have never had a successful start to my degree and my career, and it would have slowed down my investment journey. Lastly, engineers are masters at getting the job done. They are people who convert brilliant ideas into tangible goods, services, and processes. The great thing about this degree is the business world knows what you're capable of. They know you have the ability to get the job done. For this reason, you will be in demand by all types of businesses, not just engineering firms. Now, I thought I would give you my 7 tips for success. These are the tips I would have benefited from hearing if I was in your shoes today, back in time. Number 1, it's a simple one, but listen to others, especially when it comes to investing. To make a good investment or business decision, you need all the facts, opinions, even if you don't agree with them. And then once you have them, always back yourself to make that final judgment call. Whenever I'm about to make a big decision on a property to purchase, I make sure I call up every local sales agent, rental manager, plus I talk to accountants, lawyers, and any other relevant stakeholder. I collect all their information, form my own decision, and then I base the decision that will benefit my family and I. So remember, listen to others, be more informed than them if you can, and then make that good judgment call. Number 2, never focus too much on the end goal to the point where you don't see opportunities in your peripheral. I remember when I was studying, there was a common stat thrown around that only 25% of engineering graduates remain engineers post-graduation. So no matter how much you think you want to be in a certain field, the reality of life is other opportunities will arise. Don't be afraid to divert off that well-trodden path. My life is a perfect example of this, as my initial goal was I wanted to be a CEO for a big company. But after working for the big companies, I realised that life wasn't for me. And after starting my own company, Rethink Investing, there was just no comparison to my old career. I love what I do so much more now that I could have only found out by taking that plunge. Number 3, always invest. This one is a big one for me because they don't really teach investing in schools. Invest with surplus savings from an early age. Invest in yourself through education, and invest in others when you eventually start employing them. For example, my father encouraged me to put my teenager savings into Telstra shares so I could collect dividends. This created a mindset shift that I believe gave me advantage over other kids at the time, because even with $500 in a small trading account, it allowed me to understand how passive income worked from a very early age. Remember, in this expensive world we live in, your career income is one. Your investment income should be a second. If you can create a second stream of income, I can assure you, you will be well ahead of others who do not try this. Number 4, show leadership. Leadership is an extremely important part of this university. This is because Focusing on creating leaders provides a better outcome for society. If you become a leader in your chosen field, success will follow you. The more respect you can create from doing your best work will increase that chance of that next promotion or opening up an opportunity to start a business. Number 5, be professional. This might sound like something like your parents might tell you, but as an engineer, you have a duty of care to society. Your decisions can affect hundreds, if not thousands of people. So you need to represent your profession, your university, and your own reputation. Number 6, find your own path and be proud of it. You don't need to be the fastest, strongest, most intelligent, or the most wealthy, as once you find your own passion, life becomes less serious and more enjoyable. This is the reason I can work as hard as I do now. I don't do it for the money, I do it because I enjoy what I do, which means I can put up substantial amounts of effort into my business year after year, and it will be hard for others to match that if you're not passionate about what you do. Finally, number 7, find a partner in life who can share your success. I met my wife, Mina, before either of us owned a property. I remember showing her the first property I ever was going to buy. It was a bit of an ugly duckling type house. So I was expecting her to look at it and say, that's the ugliest house I've ever seen, and I'm an idiot for trying to buy it. However, I explained to her there was a granny flat, and that meant the income was roughly double what it should have been. To my surprise, she wanted to understand the investment potential rather than viewing it as a place to live in. If I didn't have support from my partner, my life would have been very different. And having a partner in life that you can share your plan and plan finances together will make a big difference from the final outcome. So find that person. Let me close. I believe if you follow these tips post-graduation, on top of securing this prestigious degree, you will go very far in life. So I'm excited to welcome you all to the first day of the rest of your lives. Congratulations once again to the class of 2022.